Hey team, what's going on? Steven Crowder named names and let's go through them. That's what we're doing today. Let's do it. So, as mentioned, Steven Crowder named some names, and I'm curious, do you agree with these names? I agree, I do, although I think the list is a little short, but we'll talk about that when it comes to it. But let's hop right in. Never gets old for me. Yeah. Anyway.
So let me go through, rattle off a little quick list of people who, I don't want to say dead to me, but they're on my no-fly list.
Who do you think the first one's going to be?
We're a little pissed at him right now.
Mitch McConnell? Listen, this is no surprise here.
Right.
At first I thought when
I'm not surprised. You surprised? The Turtle Man, the Frog Man strikes again. I mean, whose side is this guy even on? Obviously, he only serves himself and his own accumulation of power. There's sometimes I want to applaud him, like when the ATF was going to regulate rifle pistols, AR pistols with the strapping it to your arm. They're going to regulate those, and Mr. McConnell apparently stepped in. Way to go! Finally, you do something for us. But yeah, well, let's see what Steven thinks.
When you watch this clip, it's not the new assistant health secretary. This is Mitch McConnell.
The mob was fed lies.
Ribbit.
They were provoked by the president
Ribbit.
and other powerful people. And they tried to use fear and violence to stop a specific proceeding of the first branch of the federal government, which they did not like.
I was waiting for his tongue to come out and grab a fly.
All right.
Okay, Levine. Blaming
I think Steven's probably going to hop into it, so let me shut up.
President Trump for violence at the Capitol.
Yeah.
When the guy said, look, saying you should go make your voices heard and only ever specifying peaceful does not warrant an impeachment post-presidency. Talk about a snake in the grass.
Yeah, it does say, it's exact quote, peacefully make your voices. Yeah, that's
Peacefully,
true.
yeah.
And that's that's irritating. I mean, come on, Mitch. I'm sure all the Democrats are just going to love you now that you stood up against the big bad orange man. But, I mean, your base doesn't. So I don't know what your ploy was there. I don't know what your plan is. Way to go, Mitch.
No.
Still true.
But that's not the only thing. He's doing this now because he's trying to appease the left. Apparently, he actually believes that Biden and AOC and Kamala Harris will unify with him.
You know, can he really be that dumb? I don't know. It's irritating. Let's go to the next one. Any idea who's going to be on Steven Crowder's number 2 list? Let's find out, shall we?
Brian Kemp, Governor Brian Kemp.
Yeah.
Oh, this lovely little mensch. Georgia, right? Here's the crazy thing. I understand that there are people who won't agree with me. I understand that there are people who are moderate and, pussies. So
Keep that in mind, because I don't agree with Steven Crowder on not every. I don't agree with him on every issue. There's one in particular that I do disagree with him on, but we'll talk about that later.
good.
Hello.
I understand that there are people who won't agree and think that there were 0 election irregularities whatsoever. Everything was copacetic. Everything was on the up and up. I understand there are some Republicans who genuinely believe that. Not many, but there are people out there. What is weird to me is when you have someone like Governor Brian Kemp who acknowledges, readily so, the voting irregularities, but then says we're going to certify the results anyway.
Right? That's irritating. But here is Brian Kemp, the governor, saying, I've looked at the evidence. It's fishy. Things are screwy. But we're just going to go ahead and let it happen anyway. What the hell is that?
However, it's quite honestly hard to believe that during the audit, thousands of uncounted ballots were found weeks after a razor-thin outcome in a presidential election. It's important to note that this audit only looked at ballots, not the signatures on the absentee application.
From a personal standpoint, I remember watching his news conference way back. Well, it seemed like forever ago. Last year sometime. It's saying that there's going to be a full hand count, full audit of the vote. And I was, okay, we're going to get to the bottom of this. And then guess what happened? Nothing. It's still waiting for it, I guess. And here he is explaining to us that that was the appropriate thing to do. But for some reason, it didn't happen. I can see why you're on the list.
Or the signatures on the ballot envelopes. The Georgians I've heard from are extremely concerned about this. So I encourage Secretary Raffensperger to consider addressing these concerns. Earlier today, Secretary Raffensperger presented the certified results of the 2020 general election to my office. Following Judge Grimsberg's ruling yesterday, state law now requires the governor's office to formalize the certification.
I don't.
I didn't hear a word over those jazz hands.
The fisherman's friend.
Oh my
Jesse.
goodness! Did you?
So yeah, there you go. There you have the first two people on the list. Now he goes through and names a whole bunch more names. Let's dive into that real quick, shall we?
Of other Republicans who are, listen, not beyond redemption, but on my no-fly list. Don't come on my show if you expect softballs. Let's roll it.
All right, General Mattis, Bill Barr, Mike Pence, Paul Ryan, Doug Ducey, Neil Cavuto, Tucker Carlson, the Fox News Decision Desk, Dan Crenshaw, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood.
Yeah, Sydney, man, Lynn Wood. I didn't really know them anyway beforehand, so it wasn't like they fell from grace for me, but apparently they did. John Roberts. Oh, don't know what's up with Clarence Thomas or Amy Coney Barrett. I don't know what his beef is with those two, except for that they didn't agree. Well, Clarence Thomas did agree that they should hear the Texas case. So Amy Coney didn't, and John Roberts sure as heck didn't. But if that was the case, then you'd think he would be on Kavanaugh, who didn't vote for it either, and Gorsuch. So, I'm curious about that. I'm curious why he thought Amy Coney Barrett and Clarence Thomas are on his no-fly list. Interesting. Of course, then we go. All House Republicans who voted for impeachment or rejected Rand Paul's motion against it.
And goes on. Mitt Romney, obviously. Susan Collins, Ben Sass, Pat Toomey, whatever. These
Turncoats.
Oh, that one's a dick.
And then we got the senators.
Dan Sullivan, John Boozman, Tom Cotton, Marco Rubio, Rick Scott, Mike Crapo, Jim Risch, Todd Young, Chuck Grassley, Jody blah, 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 Mitch McConnell, blah, 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 John Kennedy.
And that's the list. Why? Not sure. Now, missing from this list is Ted Cruz. And apparently he's got a beef with Ted Cruz, and I don't know why, even though he defends him in his next video. But he's not mentioned here. But he does have. But that's one of the things we disagree with. Apparently he's got a beef with Ted Cruz, and I tend to think that Ted did the right thing and acted with integrity. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just like, Ted, I'm just mad at you. I don't know why. Of course, he's a politician, so there could be... Politicians are not to be idolized in any respect whatsoever. So maybe that's just it. Anyway, that's the list of names. Did Steven check off any on your list? Do you have any ones that he didn't talk about? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.